So let's have a little story time really quick. So essentially what happened, is this on? Okay, we're good. Went on Amazon, ordered a Canon G7X for the channel, you know, to film in the gym, to film vlogs, full day eating, stuff like that. Well, long story short, I got the camera, didn't work. Sent it back in that whole process right now, but anyways, working on getting a camera right now. I want to make, you know, a slight investment into this channel, and I think it's something that I'll use outside of the gym as well. And I just think it's something that I'll have a lot of fun with, and I'm really excited for. So it kind of sucks. I was a little disappointed when it didn't work the first time, but I'm sure it'll, hopefully the second camera I get will work just fine. Anyways, guys, you saw the title of this video. It is how to progressively overload. And the way I'm gonna go with this list is not necessarily the best way. There is really no best way. There's ways that make most sense for most people depending on what your goals are. What I'm gonna do is from start to finish, I'm gonna list my favorite ways to ways I don't necessarily prefer to progressively overload. So number one is gonna be to put some more damn weight on that bar. That's the way that most of us think of when we progressively overload, and that's just the way I've preferred it as well. I think that it really kind of simplifies the process if you can just add 5 pounds, add 10 pounds, whatever that may be. Now, as you reach the intermediate stages of your training, that starts to get heavy as hell. You know, you can't just slap on 5 pounds every time you do curls, or else everyone would be curling like what C.T. Fletcher curls, and that shit is ridiculous.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, and fuck you.
Right in front of you. Deal with it.
So obviously, you reach a point where you have to kind of slow down that progression, but I personally, I've always gotten the best results when I take some kind of compound movement. I go for like 3 or 4 sets of 8, maybe sets of 10, and I just try to add weight. So once I can't add weight anymore, my next step will be to add reps. And so typically what I like to do is I like to stick between 8 and 12. You know, that's what's recommended. That's where I find the most growth at. Unless it's squat, bench, deadlift, or overhead press, I pretty much don't prefer to go under 6 reps, but 8 to 12 is where I like to stay. Typically what I'll do is, depending on my goal for that training block, you know, if it's strength, I'll stay a little bit lower on it. If it's hypertrophy, maybe go a little bit higher, you know, play with the numbers a little bit. But what I typically would like to do is I like to be able to do something for a set of 8, and then next week try for a set of 10, next week try for a set of 12. If I can hit, you know, my consistent sets of 12 with clean form, everything's perfect, then we go up in weight. So as you can see, everything kind of goes back to trying to go up in weight. At least for me personally, that's the way I prefer it. That's the way I advise other people to do it. So just to break this down a little bit more, let's say you're doing a flat dumbbell bench press, use 50-pound dumbbells for 3 sets of 8. Next week, let's do 3 sets of 10. Week after that, 3 sets of 12. If your 3 sets of 12 is consistent, perfect, beautiful, everything's good. All right, next week, let's try 3 sets of 8 with 55 pounds. If you're feeling, you know, overzealous, let's try 3 sets of 8 with 60 pounds. And then we repeat that process, go up to 3 sets of 10, 3 sets of 12. It's simple, guys. This shit is simple. You just have to follow progressive overload. So next technique I use is gonna be to add sets. This is when I use if the whole rep scheme thing doesn't work. So if I can get, you know, 3 sets of 8, and then next week, you know, I couldn't quite get 3 sets of 10, you know, it's easier for me to get 4 sets of 8 than it is to get 3 sets of 10, and that's still increasing volume. So I'm kind of looking at this as like a whole pyramid, right? As we're trying to take the steps to get to more maximal weight, or obviously clean reps that are safe form and everything like that. Let's say you do 3 sets of 8 on a squat with 225. So next week you try to get 3 sets of 10, and unfortunately you get a set of 10, a set of 10, and then a set of like 6 because you're just burnt out, can't do it. So rather than going for that 3 sets of 10 again next week, maybe bump it down to 4 sets of 8. So that way you're saving a little bit in the tank when your first, second, and third set, so that way you can get a 4th set. Therefore, increasing the amount of reps done with 225, increasing your total volume. And once you can do that, maybe even add another set, then let's try to go back to the reps. Once we can get the reps, you know, we can get up to that 3 sets of 12, whatever it may be. Again, oversimplifying the process here. Once we can get to that, sets of 12, you know, whatever our goal marker was for going up in reps, then let's up the weight. This process is simple, guys. Everyone's guilty of overcomplicating it, and I am as well. And you know, I don't think that you need to fully follow every single workout to a T every single week to make sure you're progressively overloading, but I do believe that with your big 3 and the overhead press included, that you should be following some kind of progression scheme as closely to the T as you can. Whereas with everything else, you know, you can maybe mix it up a little bit, maybe do 5 sets of 12 with a lighter weight, and then, you know, next time you do that workout, do 4 sets of 8 with a heavier weight. Just a good way to mix it up, keep yourself entertained, and progressively overload at the same time. But like I said, my #1 preferred method is to just up the weight. It makes it simpler. I feel as long as I can keep my form tight and every, you know, techniques fine, joints, ligaments, everything says yes, I feel good to go. I feel like by going up in weight, I'm getting the most optimal results. But anyways, guys, that's gonna do it for the video. thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to my little rant about the camera there for a second. That's pretty upsetting, but you know, shit happens. Thank you guys for watching. I'm Alex Chris Martin, and I'm gonna see you in the gym.